Hello, everybody, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, or if you listen to this, hi. Okay, so firstly, thank you for being here and listening. Okay, so something very interesting, although it's not interesting when I'm in the middle of it, but something very interesting has been happening these past, where are we now? Thursday, so it's been Tuesday and then today. Now, I don't know if any of you guys out there are experiencing this, but it's almost like, and this is a remnant, and how I know it's a remnant and not the feelings that I was having when this stuff was happening in the past, is that there's no, I know what these things feel like, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute. Yeah, but there's no real strong feeling that comes with this remnant of emotion. Yeah. So I just want to put it out there really and see if any of you are experiencing a similar thing. So it's like, how would I describe it? The thing that's coming up is like, no one listens to me, nothing I say gets heard, and I get it's it's like anger, but it's not really anger. It's really, really strange. But what it does is it's a release. So it comes in the form of, me bawling my eyes out because I don't, this stuff has, gone a long time ago. But what I realized today, it happened again. So it's twice it's happened this week, Tuesday and today. And what I realized when it happened today, because I actually said the words out loud, I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah. And that's what I used to say to myself all those years ago, I don't know what's wrong with me. And when I said that out loud, it made me realize that this thing is a remnant, because when I said those words out loud, I didn't have the same really deep down feelings that I would have all those years ago. So when I say all those years ago, this is going back when I did my soul realignment training, which cleared a load of stuff for me, which was 2017. So that's nearly 10 years ago. Because since I did that kind of work, I have never felt like people can't hear me, or that I'm not being listened to, or all that stuff, that I believed, because that's what it was. It was a belief that these things are somehow out of my control, or they were back then. Yeah. And then what I've just realized is what's been coming up in the cards for me is this, you need to ditch the victim mentality. Yeah. In order to move forward, you have to put that to bed, because it's already gone. But like I say, what was coming up today was this remnant, this little bit that was left over, the footprint, not the boot, yeah, of that stuff that I had let go of nearly 10 years ago. So I found that really interesting. So I'm just going to open that up quickly and see if any of you have been experiencing a similar thing. And this is all in the wake of all that solar activity that was happening last week. Yeah, it was last week. Well, now I don't know why. Timey-wimey stuff at the moment. So I'm just going to throw it out there and ask any of you listening if you've been experiencing similar stuff.
Well, surprise, Litmus wants to say something. Funny enough, I had what you're talking about for like 6 months between the Cancer solstice and the Capricorn solstice. And then after the Capricorn solstice started getting better, and then the new moon in Capricorn recently, I was really, really good, and I've been great ever since. And it was like if anything, the CME actually helped push it into good again, rather than. But it was like a review of all the old shit,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And not just, and like going way back to the 90s and stuff, you know, when I was in work and all, really horrible, really horrible. And it took 6 months to clear it all out again. So not all the time, but on and off, you know, over that 6 months.
Yeah.
Totally. Like a flashback, and it was saying, "Are you sure you really, really, really got rid of all this shit?" You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was a lot of revisiting and purging and going through some feelings again. But like you say, not as intense as they were originally.
Yeah.
But it was like a review. And it wasn't. I didn't enjoy it at all, but I know it was necessary for the energy that's coming now, because it's great energy now, and I feel great now. So that's all.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
That's okay.
Anyone else have been having those kind of experiences? I like that. It's like a review. It's like it goes past really quickly.
You know, I have. I don't particularly want to dive back into it. But
yeah.
I have. And I'm coming out of it, kind of. But it's not nice, because like you say, you kind of think, oh, for God's sake, I thought I'd done with this.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see. I'm seeing people that aren't have no desire to grow beyond where they are, and it makes me not want to be around those that I'm not feeling any resonance anymore. Whereas I once might have. My focus is on more spiritual things than many people are focused on. So I have a select few people that I really love and admire and listen to, but most of them, their advice isn't all that great. So I seem to be winnowing down the number of people I listen to for especially an extended period of time.
Yeah. Which is kind of like a remnant, isn't it? It's kind of like a remnant, I would say, because it's like it's almost like you're seeing who you were in those people. So it's like a remnant.
I missed what you started with, but so I might be off track in my responses.
That's okay.
But with what I heard, and I suppose I'm leaning into some of the training, I haven't. Things often come back, and I'm like, wow, I thought I'd dealt with you. Wow, I thought I'd dealt with you. And then I'm often reminded of my training, which told me that everything's like an onion. You take it's layers and layers, and you're constantly peeling back the layers of your experience, and both good and bad, and people. Some people stay, some people are layers that are big, thick, chunky, some are just the membrane. It's like the layers of an onion. So you're constantly revisited. And I find that my practices are the things that support and also aid in how fast I return to a sense of harmony.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly things that I don't think anything truly. And there's a question now, like, do I really want everything to disappear, like completely, or is it okay for me to see a bit like, I think we had a similar conversation, a bit like a story, and each time something comes up, I'm in a different place, so it's not the same, but it's the same but different, and I'm, because of the experiences I've had, my return to harmony might be quicker, or there's a new illumination and a new learning from what that was. So some of the time, obviously when it's painful, you're just like, get the fuck out, but
Absolutely.
I don't really like being in pain, although pain, and I suppose, is to view it as a messenger. Like, what is it about this that I need, that needs my love? What is it about this that needs my awareness? What is it about this that needs my attention? And whether it's challenging my existing beliefs on what, you know, life and the universe and all the rest of it. So yeah, I don't know if that is what you're on about, but that's my take on what I've heard thus far.
Yeah, that's really cool. And as you peel back those layers, you know, the more of those layers that you peel back, and sometimes there's half a dozen layers that come off all at once. So that is really extreme. But it's definitely, I mean, like I say, the thing that's been coming up for me in the cards 100%, and it keeps coming up, is don't fall back into that victim trap. You know, this isn't happening, you know, because you're not in control. This is happening because, you know, all that solar stuff has pushed everything. Anything that is remaining, that is hindering, it's a hindrance, yeah, to your true alignment, which is the thing that is the very thing that I set my intention for this year, true alignment. Yeah. So any hindrances, you know, I've set that intention. So I've done this myself. So I'm fully in control of this car. So, you know, once you realize that, you know, whatever intention you've set for 2026, you know, it's like it's realizing that, oh yeah, that's what I asked for. It's like back in 2020 when we did a big old ritual. It's a 2-hour ritual that doesn't stop. It's very physically demanding. So when we set that intention in 2020 for an acceleration of our ascension process, oh boy, did we get it. And we still are. And that's okay, because, you know, while that is kind of a bit of a bumpy ride, essentially, you know, we're getting what we asked for. So as far as I'm concerned, if you know you're in the driving seat, and you remember, it's not quite the right word, but you know, you fully embrace being in the driving seat, then you're in the driving seat. So why am I talking about that? Well, this goes back to this is to do with the idea of how am I going to put this? The Abrahamic dogmas, okay, which are all about victim mentality, handing over your sovereignty, and all that stuff. Yeah. So the reason I want to kind of talk about this a little bit today is because we came across something this week. It was this week. It's really funny, actually, because it tells you right there, well, what I'm going to kind of talk through, how embedded this victim mentality is in our societal matrix. Yeah. So this it's a massive ritual that was written in medieval times. So remember that's the frame we're putting this in. Yeah. So this massive ritual, which was recommended you do for 18 months. Yes, I said that right. 18 months. Yeah. It's called the Abramelin Operation, and it is how to meet your guardian angel. Yeah. So I can't remember. We watched a documentary on it yesterday, and I can't remember who it was written by, but it was certainly written by some kind of Christian or Catholic. I'm not sure. Now, what's really funny, first off the bat, is it was an incomplete manuscript that they translated, so they didn't even have all the facts. So number one, yeah, which made me laugh. And in this ritual, which lasts for 18 months, there are different stages to it. But what I found incredibly, well, if I was doing this ritual, I'd find it incredibly frustrating because they were extraordinarily fussy, yeah, about the how to do it, the what to do it, when to do it, when you couldn't allow, women weren't allowed to do it, by the way, because, oh no, women have periods. Medieval times, remember? Medieval times. And even really silly things like, you know, where you're doing the ritual has to be in a room with a window facing east with a balcony. It's like, okay. So, you know, me and him kept stopping the videos, we're watching it. It was like, okay, so it's what, you have to move house then if you don't have a balcony and a window facing east. And then you have to have another room, which is, you know, a prayer room, and it has to be covered in sand. It's like, who's going to do that? Anyway. So imagine, yeah, so they're very fussy with, you know, what you wear, and, you know, it's just the amount of details that you have to fulfill to do this massive ritual over 18 months is insane, yeah. And it's funny because Ian did actually ask me, so did you think it was written by a madman? Well, quite possibly, actually. So you do all the stuff, yeah, and this is actually in two parts. So the first bit is about how to meet your guardian angel, yeah. So you meet your guardian angel, and apparently one of the first things they do is they tell you all the things you did wrong in your preparation and in, you know, the whole, you know, build up to actually meeting them. So it's like, well, okay, so if this is, you know, this is where we see very clearly the gaslighting, if you like, yeah. And you know,
can I just ask you to take a rewind? Are you saying that your guardian angel tells you what you did wrong?
Yes, apparently so, in this whole ritual.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, there's this whole thing about they tell you what you did wrong. So, you know, what's the point in doing it right in the first place? You know, that's, you know, that would be my question if I was doing this, which I will never be doing, by the way, and you'll understand why later. Because it's like, I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. It really does not make sense to me. Why you would even bother to even do it correctly if they're gonna, you know, pick it all apart anyway. So, you know, it's okay, fine, whatever. And they're gonna meet you anyway, no matter what. So, okay.
Do you have to pay for this, Angie?
Oh no. Well, and unless you want to do it, you have to buy a book. Yeah, there's a book. Of course there's a book.
Yes, you have to pay some money, right?
Yeah, and if you want to do it, you have to buy all these other things. And you might even need to buy a new house as well if the window's not facing east with a balcony.
Oh, okay, I know what this is then. This is they're selling rituals, and that's when they get rich from you all.
Yes, absolutely. So
you go through this, you'll meet your guardian angel who tells you everything you did wrong, you're doing wrong or did wrong.
Yeah.
And
but they meet you anyway.
Yeah, but the first question that's literally screaming from my gut, my heart, my head is, well, where the fuck was you when I was doing it wrong, seeing as you're my guardian angel?
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, the second part, yeah, which is absolutely fascinating, was after you've summoned your guardian angel, you've met them, and they've told you everything you've done wrong, but they've gone, well, I'm here anyway. Okay, well, whatever. Is you then get to summon demons. Yeah, let's summon demons. I actually put that on one of Ian's soundtracks once. It was really funny. So, okay, so why would? Because you'd have to be in some way, shape, or form connected to some kind of Abrahamic religion to do this ritual, yeah, to believe in it 100%, yeah. Why would you be summoning demons? Why would you be wanting to do that? Well, The idea is, is that they want the demonic powers. That's the whole reason for doing this, So, So, if a demon can fly, or a demon can turn someone invisible, or turn someone into a donkey, your guardian angel is okay with that, are they? As were. So the idea basically is to control the demons and gain their powers. So, we're both sitting here scratching our heads going, what? What is this? Which, medieval times, don't forget, medieval times when this was first discovered and then translated. So doesn't that completely contradict the dogma, the doctrine, of these religions? Bearing in mind the context of which is they were burning people at that time. They were burning witches, they were burning heretics, etc., etc., etc. So you're summoning demons and that's okay, but witches practicing, I don't know, medicine is not good. It's naughty. It's naughty. You shouldn't be doing that.
There's an awful lot of, I suppose, in like what's common is that the Bible is a collection of books chosen for a very specific reason. It's not all of the books. It's not all of the information of some of these things that went on. And because you've got the Lost Books of Solomon, you've got the
absolutely,
you've got even Ethiopia's oldest Bible is far more, but if your guardian angel is advising you and supporting you in raising demons, calling forth demons, that's just not, is it?
Surely then that
isn't the guardian angel's role to protect you, guardian,
guardian,
protect you from the influences of satanic, demonic things. But then in saying that, demon used to mean, I think demon comes from a Greek word meaning guardian. So I think this is one of the perversions that we've been receiving from the Abrahamic texts, which were absolutely utilised to control, to instill fear, the role of women, the whole medieval, what's it called, not the acquisition, or whatever,
Inquisition,
that's the one. The whole thing about these texts, and I do believe that there is absolute truth in some of the stuff. It's not all lies, but most of its reasoning has been to control, to demonise our woman, to demonise our intuition, to demonise, and yet, like I say, the original word translation, I think it's daemon, it's Greek, of demon is guardian. So, and then there's even schools of thought now that are saying that Lucifer, who's the bright morning star,
the light bringer,
within Genesis. Now, I don't know, I'm not saying I subscribe to this, but that's actually Yeshua that they're speaking, that's being spoken about, not the fallen angel. So there's a whole load of stuff, Emma, about that, but none of that makes any sense whatsoever, apart from to take you down a route where you are further powerless, you are further
absolutely
subdued, you are further compliant.
Absolutely. So one of the questions. Sorry, Litmus.
No, just on what Helen was saying, I think this is the version Philip Pullman used in his Dark Materials books. The daemon, D-A-E, with the A and the E joined together.
Yes.
M-O-N. Which is your guardian. It was like your soul outside your body kind of thing in an animal form, wasn't it? So.
Okay.
Yeah. I think originally it was a good thing, not a bad thing. Yes. But as we said, what they do is they reverse everything. They use a mirror, right, and turn it around, twist it around the other way.
Absolutely.
And use it to deceive you. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the questions that we were asking was, okay, so if God is so damn powerful, why would you need to supplement your your power or God's power with, you know, demonic powers? There's a question. Because when you raise these demons, so you raise Lucifer first, the light bringer, which is interesting in itself, yeah. Who is one of the 4 kings, apparently, and then you call in the 8 dukes. So the kings are all over the dukes, yeah. So that's how you do it. So you raise Lucifer first, the light bringer. So it's like, okay, so are these beings truly what they tell us they are? That's a question. Or are they something else? You know, and if your guardian angel, like we've just been saying, is there to, you know, to protect you, to be a guardian of you, then why would they be saying, yeah, you can do that, that's fine, I've got no problem with that? Yeah. Are they really your guardian angel then in that case? or are they another, you know, what they would call demonic force? It really does raise a lot of questions, and I really do have to wonder, you know, if anyone ever actually does this, you know, I mean, aside from the 18 months of constant praying, and you know, you're not allowed to, you have to go into hermitage to do this. Basically, you're not allowed to have contact with the outside. Well, there's a lot of, you know, rules that you must follow. And yeah, the other thing you have to do is you have to go, yeah, God, I will do everything you tell me to do. Guardian angel, yes, I will do everything you tell me to do. So who's steering the boat? Well, it's not going to be you, is it? So what does that tell us? That is, you know, fear. It's the victim mentality. It's allowing yourself to be gaslit, I would suggest. Because the other thing that came up for me, so when I did my soul realignment training, one of the things that comes up in your soul blueprint is your guides. Yeah, spirit guides, guardian angels, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. Now, from what I learned in that modality, they're with you all the time. You don't have to do 18 months of, let's call it what it is, self-flagellation, yeah, for them to appear in the room with you. They're always with you, always, from the time you are born. Now, I can't remember if they're with you. I don't think they're with you from lifetime to lifetime. So they'll come in when you are physically born, yeah, and they will stay with you. Yeah, they do swap out, you know, they have like relays, guardian angel relays, if you like. Some of them can mislead you, but that would be down to your negative karmic baggage that you're carrying with you. But they're always there. They're always overseeing you. So this idea that you have to do like 18 months of this craziness to meet your guardian angel, I just find quite distasteful, actually, and that's putting it politely. So, you know, what is this ritual? What is this massive gaslighting?
So this has come from Catholicism, from Roman Catholicism. I will say Roman Catholicism. So this is something that would have been pushed by
I'm not
entirely.
It probably, I would say, but I'm not entirely sure. Definitely Abrahamic.
The seat of Satan, anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely Abrahamic for sure.
The people of Judah, yeah, but would do Muslims do this? Do Hebrews do
I
this?
don't know. I know the original.
Or is it just Christianity?
The original.
With that?
The original document was written in Hebrew. So I mean that was, I don't know, was that a language that was spoken throughout that region? I don't know. It's a good question, actually. I'm not.
I'm just curious more than anything else, because I suppose I was watching something today that was talking about Breton law and the ancients of Ireland, and then how Roman Catholicism, and I've always seen Roman Catholicism as something different to the other Christian religions, Catholic religions. You know, that what they bought, how they, because I suppose that's just my belief as well. This helps to compound my belief that the Roman Catholic Church was just the Roman Empire rebranded.
Absolutely, because they were still practicing pagans as well. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's and a complete bastardization of Yeshua and his message. And if you look at, you know, I remember when I read the Bible and read the Old Testament, completely challenged me because it was just so different to the New Testament. Completely different vibration. So, and the Roman Empire took the New Testament. I mean, you know, when they decided on what was going to go in to the book as well and all the rest of it. Just to be fair, it just sounds like we're going to bring you into devil worship, and whoever the devil is identified to be, we're going to bring you into something that leaves you without your true divinity. Just clear.
Yeah, and in fear. And I think that's what this massive they call it an operation. They don't call it a ritual, which I find quite interesting in itself. But it's a massive ritual, and I think it's about, you know, it's about power, money, as always, but it's also about, you know, that control that they will then have over you. Massive hypocrisy, you know, in that time when they were burning people and other things as well, that they, you know, torturing people. Massive disempowerment, yeah, fear, hatred, because I don't know, it would be so, yeah, and would this be if you like, requisite for, you know, if you wanted to be a monk or something, you know, who knows? Then it was, you know, out there, and it's still out there. I mean, I don't know if there are many people on this planet who have done it, but wow, you know. But at the same time as they are, you know, bashing people over the head for practicing black magic or whatever, witchcraft, you know, all that stuff, or being a heretic, you know, they are craving the very powers that they are screaming against. And it just blows my mind. It really does. And I suppose, you know, the last bit that I really want to say on it is, because there's a guy that we've been listening to who claims that he's done this ritual, but he did it in, what was it? He went, I'm not doing it for 18 months. He didn't even do it for 6 months. I think he did it for 3 weeks or something. Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever. And he calls himself an occultist. Yeah. So again, the question comes up. So if you're an occultist, which is someone who, you know, will shine, you know, will look under, you know, look into the darkness, will shine light in there, you know, but who essentially, an occultist is someone who walks the middle path. So they, as much as possible in this weird world, they try and stay depolarized. Yeah. So they're not swayed one way or the other. They'll take from different things. Yeah. We call that cherry picking, but they're not going to, you know, dogmatically follow something. They will always question. Yeah. And with this working, this ritual, this operation, yeah, you would have to buy into the religious dogma, because it's what underpins this whole thing, which is in its very nature side taking. It's polarizing. Yeah, we see that all over the place at the moment. So, you know, any occultist who takes this operation and says they completed it, they would have to believe in, you know, that dogma 100%. They would have to. That's a no-brainer. So yeah, I you know, if there are any occultists out there listening, have you done it? Have you really done it? And how can you really call yourself an occultist if you have done it? That doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. As much as the whole thing doesn't make sense to me, that particular stance, it just doesn't compute at all. So yeah, I don't know if any of you have got anything to say on that. I know it's a little bit of maybe a sticky topic because you know, and I think I'll go back to that question. So if they're doing this ritual, if you know, Abrahamic religions are promoting, you could say, this ritual, this operation, yeah, then are these so-called demons, these demonic forces, actually what they say they are? That's a, you know, for anyone who might be listening that might know something about this, that's my question to you. You know, are they then what, you know, what they say? Because you know, even if you take, so in order to believe in the devil, yeah, you would have to believe in God, because they go together. Yeah, they're we're pagan, so we don't believe in either of those, really. You know, we have deities that we, you know, connect with. We have dragons that we connect with now as well. that journey's already begun, which is interesting.
I think you'd have to define what the devil is and what God is then. Because if you're talking just about the God of the Abrahamic religions and the devil of the Abrahamic religions.
Well, in those simplest terms, good and bad, good and evil. So
well, to cultures of, like you say about the deities, I mean, there's cultures all over the world that have deities. There are many gods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of gods, and I presume there's lots and lots of devils. And Andy comes to mind here. I've heard him say this a few. any religion that tells you to go and kill someone else or do something else.
Yeah.
You know, that's an evil thing, and yet you've got the likes of Magickal, who her final incarnation was to guide children to their death as they were sacrificed. So, and I love cacao, but I'm not a fan of the fact, and that's why she's classed as a guide. One of her missions is to guide and to escort and to take away your fear. But so I think definitely, if we're just speaking about the Abrahamic religions of that God, and which is, say his name is Jehovah, and the devil, who's called Satan. I think it's important to identify which God you're referring to, because it covers a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's basically, you know, the God with the capital G and the devil. There's, you know, that's the Abrahamic kind of idea, because it's you know, there's one God. So in their eyes, yeah. So the other thing that I thought was quite interesting is, I think either way, you're in fear. Because as far as I can tell, you know, if you are walking that kind of path, yeah, of an Abrahamic religion, you got to be in fear of the God, yeah, but you also fear the devil. So it's fear. It's just fear, which comes back to, yeah, the handing over of your sovereign being, if you like, to fear, which that's kind of what we saw in 2020, wasn't it? Handing over your divineness, yeah, to fear. And I don't know. It's just just learning about, you know, this operation, yeah, it just blew my mind. It really did, because I guess, you know, from where I stand, I don't understand why anyone would do this. Anybody. Because, yeah, aside from, you have to be, you can't interact with the world in any way, shape or form while you're doing this. Even there was a bit somewhere about even if you're married, you can speak to your wife and you can sleep in the same bed as her, but if she's on a period, then you're not allowed to go anywhere near her. It's like so arcane, so medieval. So that, you know,
older than medieval. That comes from the Torah. That's from the Hebrews, like from the Jewish faith.
Okay.
And it's not. It's older than just medieval, because the women are separated while they are on their cycle, and they have to go through ritual bathings, and then if you have a boy or if you have a girl, you know, in terms of childbirth, how long you have to be separated from the community. It's only the women that you can actually get to, and there's quite a few Christian faiths, I don't know if Islam does it as well, that do that. But it's interesting that depending on where in the world you are will depend on whether you are seen as unclean, and this is where it becomes a problem for me, or whether you are seen as powerful. Depending on the cultural base.
Yeah.
And how their original sort of ancient cultures felt about, because remember, Roman Catholicism changed. It's different all around the world depending on what the original indigenous cultures, how they viewed those things, until they were able to instill enough brainwashing to get everybody to think the same way. But originally, but it is from the Torah. I think it's the Torah that women, when they are on their cycle, and I think within Hebrew, they are unclean and therefore they are separated.
Wow.
But they are tended while they are within their cycle. They are looked after, they are tended, and it's a rejuvenation. So there's a whole lot of contradiction and hypocrisy around the whole book, you know, that should be there.
Absolutely. And that's what absolutely stuck out in this, the hypocrisy of this, you know. It's just unbelievable. And I had to stop myself swearing there, because it really is just. And like I said, you know, Ian asked me, do you think this was written by a madman? I think quite possibly, actually. So yeah, does anyone else have anything they want to say about it? I was going to pull a few cards on it actually as well and see what came out. But if anyone has anything they want to add or share, or
I'll share. We are all children of the universe, from the stars to the seas and everything in between.
Yeah.
And anything that separates us from each other and from the earth is wrong and should be resisted, banished, whatever you want to call it. And we should celebrate our cultures, learn from our past, don't live in the past, so that today we can create better tomorrows for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like that.
Absolutely. And I'm just, all I want to say is I'm not surprised at all, really.
No. Much as my mind was blown, it kind of, you know, just follows a pattern, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is the sort of thing they do in these cults and sects, and, you know, pretending to be something they're not, and taking all the good spiritual texts and corrupting them, and, you know, cocking them up and using them to control people and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh, what did you say the language was it was written in originally?
Hebrew. Hebrew.
Oh well.
So
there you go. They always reverse everything. That's what kind of well known, you know, just to confuse everyone. That's a classic technique, is just reverse it all, move things around so that you teach people the wrong thing, and then they wonder why it doesn't work, you know.
Absolutely.
It goes from Hebrew to Amharic to Latin to Greek to English, and everything is just lost in translation. But I do think there are truths within it. And that's why a lot of people these days are looking to the Ethiopian Bible, because it's one of the oldest Bibles. It's got books that the other Bibles don't have, and it hasn't been altered since Sheba brought it back from Solomon. When she sat with him and brought back the Ark of the Covenant with the child Menelik within her womb, which is the Nivonian Torasa. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, because as you probably know, Ethiopian Jews are completely looked down on because they're black as second-class citizens in Israel. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're not allowed. Apparently recently they tried to get into Israel, and they were told no, you're not welcome.
Yeah, they try and restrict going in. Yeah.
That's crazy. So there's even infighting in their own religion. It's just crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's like for Brian, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the subcults fight against each other.
Yeah.
So whether it's Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, they all, in fact, they're all divided within themselves.
Mm.
By design, I would say, by design.
Yeah,
by design.
Yeah. So
divide and fall.
It makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. So there's two things. Let me just grab them before they go through my head. So there's a fracturing here, isn't there? And maybe this operation was designed to fracture. If someone actually is connected to source, yeah, to the part of them that's bigger and sees everything, and they have that very strong connection, was this then designed to fracture that? Because that's what it would seem like it would do.
It would fracture on a psyche level, on a psychological level.
Yeah.
The fact that you're isolated for 18 months, the fact that you've been told you've set yourself into a brainwashing camp, and then parts of you would have to fracture because you would have to accept things that your innate spirit, your divine self knows not to be the way forward, that you are overriding.
And that's what we saw in 2020.
If they went fucking nuts, actually, I'd expect more to be crackers, like. And
that's what we saw in 2020. That's exactly what we saw. Oh my Lord.
Real quick, if you don't mind, Andy, just coming on your comment there, is that this has always been designed as a rule on, to keep the minions, us, without any power, and anyone who shows it, which is what you referred to there, they are we become powerful beings, and they don't need us to be that. They need us to be easily conquered, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
When you were referring to the Christian belief systems and religions, and the Ethiopians having the most truest Bible out there, which we know of. And then we have we have Christianity in Europe. The place where Christianity was practiced before we had all of these churches was actually Ireland, when the rest of Europe was, I don't know, we'll just say they were still pagan. And apparently the rest of Europe was in a dark place. And in Ireland, they were practicing one of the most earliest forms of Christianity. And this is reflected in the Book of Kells. And then what happened was that the Irish monks then travelled out from Ireland to Europe. And then we had a resurgence of Christianity at that point as well. Just wanted to jump in there.
Thank you, Jackie.
I think one of the things as well is that Christianity, and I'm going to draw a line between the institution of Christianity and the true teachings of Yeshua, is that it was built on, it's been built on fear and demonizing people. And, if you are a healer, you're a witch, unless you're a man, of course, then you're something that's acceptable. But if you, when they went out, if you said anything that if you contradicted what they wanted, which was for you to be in fear, you were burnt, you were you know,
tortured.
There's so much about it. You look at the history of it, and you're like, wow. I watched something yesterday about the Mormon Church, the Last Day Saints, and you know, then you look at Brigham Young in America, and like loads of these people, what their churches are built on, what their faith, it is utter devilish murder and mayhem.
Yeah.
Murder and mayhem, and they call that, and they have the cheek to call it Christianity and the teachings of Yeshua.
So what you're describing there then is that all these Christianic religions are in actual fact the Antichrist themselves.
They are perversions, absolutely, of the truth of what he promoted. Yeah. They've taken it, and when you start to read it and you start to look at it, you actually, it's a bit like what's been happening since 20. So we're all looking, going, how the fuck did you do that? Why? It's befuddling. That's my word.
Yeah.
Befuddling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to kind of remember as well that we had, you know, we've always had structures in society, and when Christianity came and evolved into what it is today, my opinion of the guys of the, you know, will be made in the connection between we and yeah, whereas the three badness on others, you know.
Is anyone else finding it hard to hear, or is it just me that
you're rumbling going on?
Yeah, no, it's drifting out.
Doesn't like the...
came back in again. Yeah, I did the same.
Whatever you were saying, there was, oh, she's gone. I was going to say there were energy at play and not have heard.
Did like this? Yeah. It's dead.
We've broken Telegram, haven't we, with the conversation?
Whenever we talk about the Abrahamic cult, they go crazy, don't it? It's try to shut it down. They do not like it at all.
It's hilarious. I love that.
I just got a little download on this.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to share.
Yep.
Yeah. The word fear is fire, earth, and air restricted. Okay.
And
there's no water there. There's no emotion. So your spiritual body, your mental body, and your physical body are restricted by this fear. And there's no emotional body at all, which is really what makes us human, you know.
Yeah.
So by always pushing the fear, you know, and particularly the Judaic cult is based on Saturn, right? That's why the Sabbath is on a Sabbath or Saturday, Saturn's day, because Saturn's a planet of restriction.
Yeah.
So they're keeping you restricted in aid through feeding you this stuff, you know. So, whereas of course the real use of the element is to balance, and with ether in there as well, you get proper balance, you know. So, yeah, we definitely want to just steer away from anything that's designed to instill any kind of fear at all. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pop in here and say, because I think fear gets a bad rep. I always believe that fear serves a purpose, and I think it, you know, fear of structure and dying and all the rest of it, that we are beings that do become apprehensive, if you want to use that word rather than fear, when we need to be aware that the reason that there is fear, the positive use of fear is to become aware of a possible danger. But fear gets a bad rap, but
I'm talking about
powerful tool, very, very powerful tool.
Yeah, of course, in that situation, I'm just talking about in a dogma, when it's used in a dogma.
When it's used to program people, I think that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Or the brainwashing that we saw in 2020.
As an instinct, it's great, but when it's used in a dogma to control you, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you're using it to instill fear in someone because they're different from you, or they look different,
or they fear you, if they fear you in some way,
then that's the bad fear. But like what Helen then was talking about, is the good fear is instinctive fears of making sure you've got a roof over your head, making sure that, you know, the wolves don't come stealing your baby or your lambs or whatever it might be. That's something that you have to build into your life or lifestyle. Fearing somebody because they come from Cornwall and I come from Lancashire and we're told to fear them. It's like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's an overused word, and Helen quite rightly says, you know, it is, there is two ways, and it's also the word, I have the same thing about the word sorry. Sorry is a massively overused word where it just rolls off the tongue. No matter, you're being mindful less when you should be mindful of what it is that you're doing, but to equate that, then to sort of say, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, sorry is a very powerful word, but it's so overused and it's so trivialized that it means nothing. But actually, it's extremely a powerful word, as is fear.
Yeah. I think it's the, you know, what is the essence of that? What is the purity of those words and those, you know, those feelings when they come up? And if they have loads of weird programs from the USB stick in your head, you know, stuck to them, then, you know, it's not a pure thing, is it? It's being kicked around by something else, which is not us, you know, it's not of us. Does that make sense?
I heard something yesterday around sorry and people apologising, and I thought, isn't that the truth? Because it was like people only apologise for themselves to make themselves feel better that they've said sorry, rather than, you know,
than actually being sorry for the thing that they've done. Yeah.
And even the church offers that as a, you know, you go to confession to confess your sins, to say basically confessing your sins is because you're sorry for them. Then you get absolution. But that's absolutely a selfish thing. Don't fucking do shit that's going to upset you. Don't hurt them, don't harm them.
You need to be sorry, yeah.
You can just imagine it, can't you? Going to confession and going, yeah, I did this operation, I summoned all these demons. Don't worry, son, here you go. Say 40 Hail Marys, off you go. Say, what? Yeah, I'm really sorry.
And go and summon another 50 that are going to really fuck you up.
Yeah.
You can be heard now. I'm really curious what you were going to say and whether you'll be able to say it.
I'll give a go, but my connection is falling. I couldn't even get back in there. And I can't remember what I was talking about.
Oh, it's all gone quiet.
It has.
I posted 3 cards up there, yeah. So I posted those 3 cards. This is, you know, our true nature, if you like, not this, you know, weird, you know, scared, cowering in the corner, you know, being gaslit and, you know. So we are the beacons of light, you know. You know, path of least resistance, you know, that, which is be the flow, if you like, and soaring, you know, that's our true nature. Not, you know, being in a place where you are giving up your sovereignty to an institution, essentially.
Corporate, it's all corporate. I think churches and all of these things, they're all it's just all corporates by different names. It keeps changing its name. 1 minute it's the church, 1 minute it's the state, next minute it's a corporation. They're all just changing their name.
Absolutely.
Something different.
But with the same underlying energy of that we must be controlled.
Evil. And I have to be honest, the indoctrination received from the Abrahamic texts for me, I still, and you know, I suppose this is where you started in terms of going round and peeling back layers. I still have fears about my eternal soul burning in hell, even though I don't actually believe in it on a conscious level. I don't believe it, but I'm aware that there is something there that is kind of like, oh, but if you're wrong, you know, Helen, you're going to fucking burn in hell, like, and so it's a really deep indoctrination. You know?
Absolutely.
I try
Absolutely.
to do this. If there is a God, an almighty God that lives up there and has made everything, and this is his garden and we're here, and you have spent your life living in harmony with this creation and being a good, healthy individual, a good, healthy being, who are you going to be more mad at? You or the bastards that screw it all up?
Yeah, exactly. I always said that. Like, if God is love, why is he going to be cross with anyone anyway? You know.
Absolutely.
But the God of the Old Testament isn't love.
No, he's wrath.
I know.
The God of the Old Testament is vengeance and like chop off his head and I'm the one God and you're going to frighten everybody into believing that.
If your God comes with flowers in one hand and a sword in the other, he's not your God.
Absolutely not.
Can I jump in there? Right, just on Andy's comment about sword in one hand and flowers in the other. What I was thinking about was that's balance. That actually represents balance because you've got to have balance. And Helen, to your comment there about, you know, still having that inbuilt fear. If I remember rightly, somewhere along the line, I heard a description of Dharma. And Dharma, if you look at it, you will keep on coming back and learn your lessons again and again. And as far as I understand, if you're a Hindu, you want your Dharma to be clean because you want to transition to the next stage. But if you have karmic lessons to learn, your Dharma is going to bring you back. So if we interpret this as we know that, you know, a lot of the belief systems are interpretations of old traditions, that you could interpret that as being your hell, you know, coming back again and again and again. So you're not transitioning to the next level.
That is my idea of hell, I have to say. I've been for decades. I'm not coming back, you know. Reincarnation makes sense to me. I'm done. This is it's not happening. It's not happening.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, but the reason it keeps coming back is because it's part of your core conditioning, right? As a child, probably.
You know? Absolutely, I know where it comes from. But and I don't believe I live my life on that vibration, but I'm so acutely aware of its existence within me. Because it's not gone. Yeah, well, I can't say it's gone, but, you know, so that pisses me off, that angers me, and that takes me to a different vibration. And I'm like, it's getting me again. It's like those cycles. And so at some point, it'll just be, oh yeah, I used to be fearful of my eternal soul burning in hell, because I don't believe in a hell. We create our own heaven and hell here. Even the Bible doesn't promote hell. It just says you're going to be dead. You'll be dead. You'll know nothing. That's it. You're dead. So there's no burning in hell. That comes from Catholicism and things like that. So it's not, and a lot of their teachings aren't biblical. They're man-made shite that they've used to fuck us. So on a conscious level, I know it, but I can't. It just, even as we're talking, it's there, and I'm really pissed about the fact that there's this slither of it that keeps
that's called learned behaviour, Helen. That's learned behaviour and nothing more. And you are all powerful, as we all are. And it just takes learning. You know, you did this with Jenny, if I remember rightly. Some parts work.
That was amazing.
Wasn't it though? But maybe this is an area you can do some parts work on, because it is all indoctrinated learned behaviour we're talking about. Therefore, we are questioning everything.
It's like core conditioning. It's like core conditioning, so it's right down there in the centre of our onion. And then since then, we've had loads more layers of conditioning put on top of it, you know. The last one collectively being COVID, you know, that was my most recent layer of global conditioning that was put on everyone, you know.
Yeah.
But underneath that is whatever the one before that was, and before that, and if you go all the way down into the centre, you'll find your religion and all that in there. You know, that's why it's hard to shift it. It's kind of like we have to work backwards from now, like a past life regression, right? To go back from now to the first layer that's on the outside and take that off, you know, and then see what's under that one, and then take that off and keep going all the way to the what's that?
Get your skin in like a snake.
Well, that's what.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're just coming to the end of that year, aren't we? Of the shedding of our skins.
In the Chinese, the snake, yeah. And on Feb 17th, we start the fire horse,
Yeah. Can't bloody wait.
Yeah. I love the numbers on your cards there, Angie, as well.
60.
63. You got 63, which is 9.
Oh, yes.
And that's about leading and teaching and mentoring.
There you
and
go.
On 9, you have you have 9, which is ready to fly high above and all of that. But interestingly, on resistance, where all doors seem to be closed, you got 7, which is great, I think.
Brilliant.
So
Love
for me,
that.
that's another example of get past 7 and get to 9, you know, and 10. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's brilliant.
Break free.
Break free, indeed.
Cards, Angie. I pulled the rebirth card or the world card.
Cool.
20 card. The Queen of Wands.
Nice.
But then the 5 of Pentacles, which is looking back, I think. And then the confirmation card on the bottom of the deck was the Ace of Wands. So it shows me that in order to get to the world card or the Ace of Wands, we got some work in the middle there with the 5 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. We got to figure something out.
Well, that 5 of Pentacles is the victim mentality. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's feeling left out, but you only feel left out if you allow yourself to feel left out.
Right.
So really, we're the Queen of Wands. We are the witches. We are the power. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the power.
So, we got all we need with the world card, right? So, it's just our self-limitations are holding us back.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that. Thank you, Kevin. So unless anyone has anything else they want to share, before Andy stops the recording.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you.
I think it's been an amazing conversation, actually. I think it's been brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, Angie. That was a fabulous show, even though I came in late. Thank you.
You're all very welcome.
Yeah, great fun, Ange.
Cool.
Yeah, I always enjoy myself, Angie. I pulled those at the beginning, but seemed relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Good cards, Kevin. Okay, do I have any last words? Well, I think this has been a good old waffle, actually. I've quite enjoyed it. Those are my last words.